Welcome to CathyDSlaught's SRC4u Zoom call for March 2nd, 2022. We're here on Cathy's website, CathyDSlaght.com, and to find the Zoom call, I'll scroll down and it's right here. Now before I click through to watch the SRC4u demonstration of the software, if you'd like to be part of the SRC4u Daily Energy Clearing Group, all the information's here. Click through to register. And what this does is it puts you over here in when Cathy does the demonstration of the SRC4u software. You're not going to be able to see anybody's name, but every day Cathy works on us, just not during the call, but she works on us all day long using the SRC4u software, which goes up into the etheric field. And if you'd like to learn more, click through. This will take us over onto the Zoom platform where I will click and the call will be live.
Here we are at 10. Let's get started. And what you're going to see is we're still running from yesterday. And the overall project here has been to regain the power of our mind. My own personal belief is that we're all here designed to thrive, surrounded by the information we need, but the true meaning of stress is anything that blocks that information from coming in. So we had gone yesterday, we wanted to include our crystals, which is kind of interesting in that much of us is a crystal. They say that's why the tapping is so powerful, because our tissue is actually a form of quartz. I can't, document all that, but anyway, so let's look at a few things. With all the information out there, we have some opportunities. We have opportunities to learn some new things. And for example, and we can work with these codes. Remember the success Grab-A-Void has had with these codes, and these are documented by doctors and by people who've had transformation. So we've got dissolve old patterns, fears, belief systems, and forms of thinking, active being, and replace with unconditional love. A lot of your most profound workers, they say that really is the whole deal. It is the love. And that's the energy we're surrounded by, although we have to get a little up in voltage. And we may have had some things that lowered our voltage in the form of different stress. And if you don't think that could be, you've probably all done this. Just sit down and watch people for a while. Look at what you see. Nice. We could use a little. I agree with that. And we could use a little reinforcement on this. This is a big request, but we are capable of it. That's kind of what we're doing. We might end up want to put this one in the mastery and just let it run. Close. We may, this is the 108 relates to the prayer bead use. Yeah, this is a big request we're making here, and I'll have to go into, okay, yeah, we want the mastery, so that's pretty exciting. You make a note, and so I remember to do it. So that'll run. And then I got this from Sharon. This is an interesting command if anyone wants to work with it. I am commanding that all lesser pathways and the old matrix programming and all whichever kept me in there will now be closed. I am choosing to step fully into my soul mastery and in my new light body form and into the 5th and 7th dimensional state with love and wisdom. Now this from yesterday, we had quite a few tools. Isn't that good? So we wanted 16 hours of acupuncture. Now this first one was in reference to unlimited blessings. And so we wanted 16 hours of acupuncture on that. We wanted soul imaging and emotions. So for emotions, I just put trauma in. This we had obstruction and psychic leakage. And 16 hours, as I said, of acupuncture for the unlimited blessings. But then also in reference to mold, 2 hours in the acupuncture. And this one I went ahead and just listed some of the things in reference to that. All subtle energy. We're working with the subtle body. And then for the QiGong for mold, we wanted 6 times. We're now on the 3rd one. And remember, we wanted 29 hours for the dispenser. Let's see if we're still going on that. We were about finished. Is that it? No, I don't know. Anyway, we were about finished, but not quite because that would be past our time. Now, we talked about these discarnates yesterday, and this is not something we're talking about for stress purposes, but there's a lot we don't know. And one of those things might be that from time to time, our own life is influenced by the presence of energies we can't even imagine or see. Now we have a discarnate scan. It's a pretty lengthy, and let's just look and see if it's a priority for our chi. This is not something we want to dwell on. We just want to be aware of, and what we do actually is raise our own voltage to clear it. Let's just see. Priority for chi, discarnate, and okay. Nope, we don't need it. So, and then also, the other thing about trauma, remember, we're wanting to clear as much stress as possible so we can access that mind, the power of the mind that we're told we have. Now, you're going to see a lot of codes here. I don't know if we want to go through each one. Let's just do a scan and see if there's any of these in particular that are causing extra stress for the group. We can put all of them in here. Now, they sure can't hurt, and it is a group. Let's just see if there's anything in particular at this moment in time. So we want to balance adrenaline. And that's it. Let's just do it. So this would make sense. Where'd we go? And we're going up to the 100. We could use a little stress management there. No, let's see I'm having a lot of fun with this sustenance balancer because I'm seeing in individual clients some real shifts. Let's see. And I was right. It is sustenance balancer. I don't know where I got that wild hair that day that it said something different. Okay, yeah, so we'll take it. What has been happening, let me show you this. This is an example right now of someone I'm working with. This is what they want in the sustenance balancer. And so I haven't gotten to it yet, so I'll do that today. But now we're starting yesterday. We wanted to, what was it? Something, I can't recall the exact terminology. The antidote to the dark plan, that was it we wanted. And then, of course, you're going to add everything else that you would in the way of vitamins, minerals, etc. So that's the one we want a little extra energy on. All the others are in here, but that doesn't seem to be a priority. Let me tell you something real quick about this spirit concept also. I had an experience yesterday. I have a regular client. She's been coming for a little over a year. And yesterday, she brought up witchcraft, which I always see in her scan all kinds of black magic and all this other negative energy coming. And I said something along the line as she had better be careful. And she exploded on me and said she was a witch and all her friends were witches. And it was a lot better. It was really pretty wild. And at that point, which was weird, my phone broke. It just stopped working. It did not really work effectively till late last night. It was a pretty weird day. So there are some things here. It may very well be that if you are going to mess with some of that stuff, there's a fine line here between that and what you might pull in. Everybody has to do their own investigation. But then what we want, let's just see if this is a priority, because that's what's happening with these various traumas, whether it be spiritual or you have a car wreck or you have a divorce or whatever it is. Sometimes that can bloat up the organs. Let's just see, is that a priority for Chi? No. The Wonder Click is so powerful. We've got a lot that we need done going on with that. So let's just check some of these. This is what happens. This is where we start losing control of our ability to manifest. We start with a little just regular hormonal, because that's what it's impacting as much as anything now at this point is the hormones. And you start it. You have a chance here, from my own understanding. Get yourself a little rest, do a little something for yourself. And we all have all of this at times. See where we are as a group. All right, we're looking, I think it's respectable. But this next one, this is where it starts hitting the adrenals. And this is unfortunately where most of us are. And that's, again, that statement of let's just sit and observe, or maybe look in the mirror. This is also often where weight gain starts. Let's look at our adrenal vitality. And again, this is all subtle energy. We're not looking at the body. We could use a little amping up there. So again, just some of the things that are involved in this, and it's significant. And again, this is where many people live. Apparently, I'm hoping not us, because we get daily energy, but you get the idea. We've got, just look at the adrenals. I might want to break this down. This is where you probably want to do your meditation, as Nydia was talking about. And again, we've got a little chronic stress. We're saying receiving this code is a good thing. Let's just see if we want to add that to the sustenance balancer. Nope, I think we just look at And you all can do different things with it. We may end up with some cocktails, trying to get it all together first.
Thank you.
And but we're at quite an exciting time in our world. There's the 108. So see, this might be another good prayer bead, especially if you recognize any of yourself in this. So now, what happens? The adrenals are producing different hormones, and if we get too stressed over a long period of time, the receptors for what we need to do that become kind of numbed. So let's see if it would be a priority for our chi today. No. Now, a few other things here. We've got the cortisol, and we're all familiar with that. To be balanced. This epinephrine, this is really, they say, what brings in the depression, that stress related, and this is a neurotransmitter. And it gets very complicated for me anyway, but we're just trying to bring, now see, there's a little information there. We'll just scan that in. Let's,
how about the one on sleep disorders?
Yeah, all of this is what happens in this second stage, is you may have one or more of these symptoms. And we may not, let me just quickly, I think, do a scan instead of going down each one. Let's look at depression. We could use a little. So, but you can see some of the other symptoms, chronic anxiety, and obviously I found there's a code for adrenal gland deficiency, which involves sleep disorders. We can actually form an ulcer. The saliva is so important for our digestion, and when the adrenals aren't functioning, that may be decreased. Frequent infection. Now this hyperlipidemia, that's high cholesterol. And then this one was kind of fun. This is what's involved with high blood pressure. And I thought, well, let me just check me for that. And I wanted 15 hours to balance that. So it's going. So that, and I do have from time to time high blood pressure. So let's just look and see for the group. Maybe not today, but let's look at these here. Let's see. We're looking pretty good here. Well, you've got the information now. Then we know what's happening with insulin resistance and diabetes. And interestingly enough, back in 1954, a paper had been published by a scientist who talked about diabetes, and he said the mineral that would completely prevent diabetes was chromium. And what happened is he was offered a high position with the NIH if he would pull that, and he did pull it. So we never really got the information. I mean, it's in there. That's how we found it. Now, you know, that's the beauty of computers. But this diabetes, there's no other way to put it. It is a phenomenal source of revenue to certain people. So let's just look in here. Let's test our own as a group. Let's amp it on up. Diabetes. And the irony, though, see, now we've got a good of this code, so there's perhaps some stress there. Okay, so we'll take this diabetes scan. Where'd we go today? And we know the numbers on that are pretty high. So, you know, the old philosophy, what can it hurt? Now, this blood sugar also, tremendous impact on the mind, on thinking, on logic. When your blood sugar is off, which it may be quite a bit of the time for the majority of people. Let's just look at this. Just balance that out if possible. So then you get to your final. So this should say 3. Anyway, you got the idea. I'll correct that later. This is where you have your burnout. And unfortunately, I was telling someone this morning, the majority of my clients seem to be starting at age 40. And, you know, we think we're so tough. And it's probably about age 40 and up, we start having some problems and realize. So this hypertrophy, this is swelling, actual swelling of the adrenals. They have now worked so hard and are so worn out, they're trying to compensate in any way possible. Now remember, the code is a good thing. We're not trying to encourage that. And again, I see a little bit of a chronic. So we got a little bit of a chronic stress with that, even in this group. Then we've got, this is where you see the aging ahead of schedule. And you often will see this with a person with a crisis as well. My grandfather, back in the Depression, committed suicide. And within a very short time, my grandmother had gone completely gray and lost all her teeth. That's an example here of how that, you know, that horrible adrenal stress can hit you. And we're going to amp that up a little bit, that code, to prevent that. I did find a code. We have reserves. I did find a code to recharge adrenal reserves. And that looks like a good thing to be getting that. Now, and at this point, everything's stressful. It doesn't matter what happens. You're stressed. You're upset. And let's see. Do we want to recharge our resistance to stress? And we're doing pretty good. So one last thing. Here's Ron's link. And then just as a quick example, also just with no resistance, this could be where the chemical sensitivity starts really taking charge. We all have the sensitivity, but this is where it really starts, perhaps causing undue stress. Now let's just go ahead.
Is that a link for the video?
Yes,
Good.
it sure is. Thank you for sending it. And
Very good. Yeah, my lady friend over in Australia, she teaches that too. That's
yeah,
the EFT.
this EFT is more powerful than we realize, and it's free. You know, to get more in your schedule, meditating, you want to get in there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And there's got to be a way to slow but sure make this a priority. And it actually, you know, creates new circuits in your brain that help you do it. Now, I wanted to just real quickly show you one more thing. We're not going to deal with it in the group, but you can also have trauma from the womb. Here's a group here. You can text, just douse yourself. See if you've got any of these things that might be impacting you. And that was our sustenance balancer yesterday. So what we're going to go into next is the nutrition now, because at this point you want to start pulling in a little, maybe a little bit more awareness of your nutrition and what you're doing. And so that's the next thing we're going to go into. And that's it. Anybody have any questions or additions? Take care, you guys.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Have a blessed day, everybody.
This concludes the SRC4u Zoom call. Thank you for participating. We look forward to seeing you again. Till then, take care and be well.